Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. Up in just a few minutes in our Millennial Mom segment by ogpay.com, we are featuring the amazing Trish Saulnier of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Celebrity psychic, medium, palm reader, and tarot card expert. She has accurately read hundreds of celebrities over the past decade. Today, we're chatting about life after death, angels, mediumship, and how psychic mediums are the new wellness coaches. While psychics have traditionally profited from predicting the future or communicating with deceased relatives, many are now working in the general field of wellness, calling themselves intuitives or intuitive healers who channel energy that helps people discover what they want out of life. A recent survey by the Pew Research Center found that 62% of Americans believe in at least one of four spiritual concepts identified as New Age, like reincarnation and astrology, and 41% believe in psychics. One market analysis found that the psychic services industry grew steadily over the past 5 years, reaching over $2 billion in revenue in 2018 from activities like readings and public services to now over a $3 billion industry in 2022. In various ancient cultures, shamans were considered a link to the spirit world. Haitian voodoo, Puerto Rican brujeria, and Wiccan traditions all focus heavily on communing with spirits. In the United States, back in the late 1800s, spiritualism, a religious movement in which seances to communicate with the dead were a central practice, was incredibly popular. While the language is different, communicating with spirits on the other so-called side is also a very accepted practice in Christianity. Angels are central characters in biblical stories, and when human beings die, telling believers that loved ones will always be with them as spiritual guides is very common practice. Here to chat some more is the incredible Trish Saulnier. Welcome to the show, my dear friend.
Hi, how are you today?
Nice to have you on. I'm so excited to chat with you. What an incredible career you have. So, if we look at the big question, Trish, that mediumship is fundamentally exploring, what we're fundamentally exploring is that is there life after death and why are we here? So, my question to you is, do angels exist?
Yes, angel does exist, and there's also life after death as well. So I do believe in angel. Also, angel are like the wings, right? So they can travel everywhere. And also they also travel within two orbs as well. So I don't know if anybody knows that, but I'm just giving you that information. Um, it's like a light of ray, and they are like vehicles. So that's what I call the angels. So they do exist.
Yes, and orbs are all around us. We encounter angels daily. At least I believe that. Just all we have to do is just pay attention. They're carved on the side of buildings. They're spotted in a cloud formation or a fountain, in paintings, flowers and gravestones. They're always hovering. In my case, scents. How did you first discover? How did you first discover that you had psychic abilities?
Okay. When I was 9 years old, I had a surgery done in this area, and I clinically died for 15 minutes.
What area
And
for our
in
listeners?
this area in my throat.
Of your throat. Okay.
Yes. So I had a surgery in my throat, and I clinically died for 15 minutes. So it's written in the hospital that I died. It's there, and I went on the other side. So I did see heaven. So I did flew to heaven, and I met God on the other side. So if people say there's no heaven out there, well, I saw it for myself. So this is how I find out about my gift. After that happened as well is when I came back. Me and my sister, by the way, I'm French, so that's where my accent's from. So we're like very strict Catholic. And the reason I'm saying this is because me and my sister went to the priest, and he was teaching us how to play violin lesson. And my sister chose to go home, but I chose to go to the cemetery. So when I went to the cemetery, I'm still traumatized until this day telling my story. I went to the cemetery, and I was looking at each grave, and I'm like, poor them, I wonder what they died from. And all of a sudden I see 15 people flying back and forth. And I'm like, closing my eyes and I'm like, no, I think I'm dreaming. No, I wasn't dreaming. So I see them like I see you, with the eye color. I describe what they look like. Little bit faded though. And one of them came to me and he's like, can you pray for me? I'm like, oh my God, not only I can see them, I could hear them too. So I asked the guy and I said, okay, what you did wrong? And he told me what he did wrong. So I prayed for like an hour and I fall asleep in the grave. An hour after, my mom asked my sister, oh, is your sister with the priest having another group lesson? My sister said, no, in the cemetery. So anyway, my mom came in the cemetery.
Your mom came to the cemetery and found you. So essentially, you were taking violin lessons with your priest, and you eventually walked your way to the graveyard, to the cemetery, and that's when you encountered all the souls reaching out to
Right.
you and asking you to pray for them. And that's when you fell asleep, and your mom obviously came and found you. How old were you?
9 years old.
You were 9 years old. So
Right.
you communicate with the dead often. You often
Yes.
relay very accurate messages. How accurate is the information you are receiving, and how are you receiving the information?
Oh wow, I done so many readings all through my life. That also sometimes they give me their names, they give me numbers, they give me also things that nobody else will know. And especially for celebrity, like people will Google them. But for me, even though you Google them, the information I give to them is like I said, like the name of their great grandparents, or some numbers like when they passed away, like it's not even written anywhere. Or like example, like somebody was owning like a watch of one of their friend that passed away, as a gift, and the detail about like what the watch looked like the color of the watch or anything like that, all the details about it.
So very
Um,
accurate details. And what about language? They communicate to you in language, in paintings, in how?
okay, so I always say to myself that I talk gibberish with them. The reason what I'm saying that is because a lot of time, example, I will give you an example so that way that people will understand what I'm trying to say here. So one time I was working at this store for a full year at a reading. It was called a reading room. Actually, if you search it, you could find it. And so what I did is I saw a lady, and her daughter was English, but the mom was Japanese. So the Japanese lady that passed away was her mom, which is her grandma, the grandma. So that young girl was English. So I started giving a message too. I didn't even know that until that lady was talking to me in Japanese. So I was giving a message as to her daughter in regards to the grandmother that, I was seeing
Yes,
clearly, and
yes.
the height and everything. And after that, she looked at me, the lady, and she tried to understand what I was saying. So she translated. And after that, she speak to me in Japanese. And I'm looking at her, I said, I don't speak Japanese. But the detail I gave her was she was so shocked that she was like speaking Japanese to say, oh my God, oh, did you know that? Thank you so much. But again, I didn't understand what she was saying. But the
Fabulous.
person on the other side, the person that I don't say the dead person, I'd say the person that crossed over on the other side, I will speak with me in this gibberish way.
Understood. So during this turbulent time on the planet that some have dubbed the Great Shift, much helpful and inspiring channeling information is pouring forth, and the number of channelers has grown exponentially in the past decade. Wise dispatches arriving to help us traverse the sometimes shaky path. You are a life coach to many with recurrent clients. How do you use your intuitive intelligence to guide people through their issues to find happiness, success, and at the end of the day, self love?
Again, by speaking with the people that crossed over. And even though some people say, oh, I have nobody that crossed over. My grandma is still there. My two grandmas, my two grandpas, but their grandpa, like great grandpa, they
Is
are crossed
is
over.
there? So we all have guardian angels, and what you do
Correct.
is you use your intuitive intelligence to guide people through their issues using mediumship by communicating with their families. It's quite fascinating. What happens to our consciousness when we die, Trish?
Our consciousness, I feel like it's gonna be in a different dimension when we go going to die. So what happened to me is I felt like I was somewhere else. You know, it's like an example, if you do meditation, like I can't do meditation because my mind is always busy, right? But some people that are able to do meditation, it feels the same way as well. Like you feel like you're somewhere else, on another dimension. And it's pretty cool. Like your
And
consciousness.
and are we reunited with loved ones who have passed on?
Yes. Yes, we all reunited with the same people that, you know, that either we don't know that we will meet because they are all the same blood, same DNA. So which is pretty cool because sometimes people on the other side, they always wonder, even the babies. I don't know if anybody knows that, but I speak with a lot of mother that had miscarriage or people, even abortion. And sometimes I say, oh, and I see this person is now 2 years old. And they look at me like, what? 2 years old? They're still growing on the other side? I'm like, yes, they are. So, which means that if somebody lost a children 5 years ago, they had a miscarriage or abortion or whatever happened to them, they're still growing on the other side, the babies,
That's
even
fabulous.
though they're not even born, but they are born inside, the womb of their
That's
mother.
insightful information. We're out of time. I'm going to cut to a commercial break, but I wanted to thank you for coming on. Don't move. You are such an inspiration. I enjoyed talking with you so much. Thank you for chatting with me.
You're welcome.
Guys, you definitely have to check out Trish Saulnier. Head to her website, psychicmediumtrish.ca. That was our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by ogpay.com. You can also check her out on the gram. She's everywhere. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. You're listening to your Millennial Mom segment brought to you by ogpay.com, featuring the amazing psychic Trish Saulnier. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you to to bring me back.
All right. So let's pick up where we left off. We were talking about your intuition, how you sense things about people, how you read people. And I was wondering if you perhaps had some insightful information about me.
Okay. Either you mean for like mediumship, like I just feel there was somebody that crossed over from the other side. Um, I just have sometimes I'll say, oh, I forgot to mention this, but I feel, I also feel the way they passed. So the person that I see is a lady right now with you, and I'm having issue to breathe, which means it has something to do either with her heart or something to do with her lungs. Um, and the way that she looked like, she had like really, really, really short hair. Sometimes they will give me names, sometimes not. I cannot force them to give me name either, but I'm just giving you what she looked like. But she seemed that she passed from issue with the breathing.
And it's definitely a female.
It's a female. And also I see a number and I see number 20. I'm writing it down, sorry. Number 20. So either that she died 20 months ago, 20 years ago, could have been on the 20th. So the number 20 could be a significant number of the person that did cross over from the other side.
Okay. Yeah, I have to go back and figure that out. There are definitely a few. and more than one. So you're probably picking that up. Interesting. What else do you feel or do you see?
I just sense a name and having a hard time to say the name because it's not in English and I'm having a hard time to say that word. But it has like in the end of their name is finished with like a.
A male or a female name? This same person?
No, there's another person with you and it's a male.
Ah, okay. It's a male.
Yes, but the name is a weird. I don't know. I want to say it's a weird name, but I'm having a hard time to say the name because of, my French. Sorry.
With an uh well, yeah. Well, it's not his name, but it may be something I used to call him.
Correct.
Okay.
You could call him Papa or something
Oh,
like that, or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, it could be Ba. It could be Ba.
Oh, okay, Ba. Yeah, okay. So it's kind of hard. I don't know what that means either. So is that his name? It's not his name.
No, Ba means father in Greek.
Oh, so you're Greek. Okay. So Ba, that's your dad.
Yeah.
And your dad crossed over.
He did.
Wow, okay. Very slim man that I see. And I'm sorry, I'm putting my head down because when I do reading too as well is when I'm listening to the person that speak, I also write it down so I feel less anxious to speak. So I'm just gonna say something about your dad. I say something about
Now, do you see them the way they looked throughout their life or the way they looked when they passed?
some people will choose whenever they feel like, example, they will be 50 years old or something, they passed, and they want to look like they were like 20 years old. So when I look at them, sometimes if I say, okay, this person looked like he's like 66 or something, but in reality, he died when he was 73. But it will give me the numbers when he passed as well, right? So, but your dad, I see what he looks like, the age he looks like he's probably in the 65. So either he passed at 65 or he would be 65 right now.
No, he passed at exactly 65.
Okay. So that's what I see him when he was 65.
So yeah. So when he passed, he was very, very, very thin because he had lost a lot of weight. But throughout his life, he was a heavier set man.
Right. So he had cancer. Do you know if he had cancer in the throat? Because also I feel like my head, I'm sorry, my eyes, you probably saw that. I feel I did this is because I have so much head pain all of a sudden because that's the other lady passed with something to do with the breathing, but your dad, something to do with the head as well. Like, I don't know if he had issue with his brain or and I have pain in my bones too. Like, I'm just saying, like, the way, do you know?
He had aggressive lung cancer.
Okay.
And his sister passed away. She was a heavier set woman with short hair. Her name was Tula. So that's another A that you're picking up. Tula. And she's heavier, and she passed away from ovarian cancer a few years apart.
Okay. She older one, 68? No, she's not older.
Oh, she passed away perhaps when I can't remember when she passed away.
Okay.
But I don't think she was the older one. I think she was like the third of the children.
I don't want to say this. I hope they won't not say I'm insulting them, but she looked a little bit older than her dad. So I think also when she was on Earth, she did look older than your dad. Your dad seems to be like funny guy, you know. He said he was funny and he had so much fun with life, and he felt that he would have stayed longer, but for some reason they needed him on the other side. Unfortunately.
Well, You definitely picked up on a lot. That was quite impressive, my dear friend. Thank you so much. That was quite inspirational. You definitely have a talent there. And yeah, just so you guys know, I did not meet this woman prior, and nor is it published anywhere on the internet on how my dad nor his sister passed away. So kudos to you.
I don't know if you realize too, but when you said Tula, I had put the book in front of you so that you will see that it was already written. So just to let you know.
It took me a minute, but yeah, it all came together. Well,
Right.
my dear friend, thank you so much. You're incredible.
Thank you. And I could speak with you all night.
Definitely check out this incredible woman, psychic medium Trish Saulnier. Go to psychicmediumtrish.ca. That was our Millennial Mom segment brought to you by ogpay.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.